Good afternoon and a very, very warm welcome once again on Supergrads Cat YouTube channel. And once again, we are live. We are live to peel Slot-2 now, section by section, layer by layer. And let's understand today from our OG faculties, both of them joining, they're not from Bhopal, directly from Indore. Very warm welcome, Sanjay Sir and Shruti ma'am. After long, you both are together over here on one platform. And certainly, people want to know and deep dive into this CAT 2025 analysis. So we'll be looking into all the three sections again. How, and we'll also do a comparative study because मुझे पता है संजय सर खुद slot 1 लिख के आए थे, so he'll be the best person to understand and give the comparative directions also over here. Let's start with VARC. How do you look into it, ma'am?
So namaste everyone, and thank you very much for joining this live analysis of slot 2. I'm very sure that this is going to help you a lot if you are actually writing slot 3. And otherwise, if you have written slot 1 as well, this slot 2 analysis will give you that comparative, understanding or analysis of the entire thing. So nothing much of a shocker or nothing much of a surprise as such. It was on the familiar patterns of 2022-23. Only that in VARC, the pattern was of mix of RCs and VAs as was followed in 2024. So nothing more than, just two questions of parajumble, which were revisited. So it was expected that parajumbles might be there. So there was nothing much of a surprise. Same 24 questions, 4 theta questions, and those theta were again the parajumble and odd one out only. The things which we have been practicing for so long in our mocks, we have been replicating them. So nothing much of a surprise.
Mocks were apt. You want
Absolutely.
To say that?
Supercat. The mocks which we have written, they were actually the mirror images of the kind of CAT questions we are facing right now.
Would like to understand more about it. So what kind of RC passages actually turned up and what were the themes over there? And, I got to know from some of the students that, some of them were not comprehensible. So are you on the same lines or not?
Not exactly. There were a mix of RCs, obviously, as has been the case otherwise also, that, there was a passage on AI and ChatGPT about it, and the passage was quite easy to comprehend, but the options were a little catchy.
Closer.
I mean, they were lengthy options, so it took a little time.
Close. They were not close?
They were close, and options were lengthy as well. So it took a little time to understand what the options were saying. And then there was a passage on astronomy. There was passage on literature as well. So the passage on literature was a little obsolete kind of an antiquity kind of a language. So it was not easy to comprehend, but the questions were direct. So the same kind of combination which we have been playing in our super mocks was actually seen there, that if the passage is very easy to comprehend, the questions could be time consuming. If the passage is a little tougher to comprehend, then 2 or 3 questions might be very easy to deal with.
Are they lengthy? And how many of them were lengthy, in fact?
Not lengthy passages, doable passages, not very lengthy passages.
Not very lengthy as well. All right.
And then there were 2 parajumbles, 2 odd one out, 2 para completion, and 2 para summary, the way they were in 2022 and 23.
Doable?
Parajumble, 1 tough, 1 doable.
Okay.
Odd one out, yes, they were a little challenging this time. So I would suggest for slot 3 that you should not waste your time if you're not getting odd one out. Whatever comes to your mind after the second reading of the paragraph, mark it and move on. The most important thing you should actually follow here is that you need to move on. Don't get stuck in time-consuming questions. So there were a mix of questions, easy questions, then time-consuming questions, then easy questions. So if you keep moving on, you'll have good attempts. If you get stuck in lengthier and tougher questions, you might miss the easier questions.
One more question from my side. Were there some trickier questions as well?
Yes, there were tricky questions in para completion section. So you might feel that heat over there. Para completion by default also, students don't really like solving those questions, and this time they were really ambiguous. So again, you should rely more on RCs rather than VA. So out of 8, I would say go ahead with 5 to 6 questions, and you should very quickly do those theta questions. Do not spend too much of time on that.
We'll come back to good attempts later, but now let me ask. Sanjay sir over here, he's waiting from a long time. DILR, sir, according to you, because you have given slot 1 as well. What inputs are you getting from students for slot 2? How was it different from slot 1? Both the questions.
Hello, everyone. Hello, Rahul, sir. The inputs for DLR would be again the some of the sites were on the new lines. They were not as it was used to be in the earlier CATs. There is one proper DI on sustainability development that is again calculative as well. There is one very easy DI in this particular shift. It was on basketball and some arrangements. So that was pretty easily doable. Yeah, that was pretty easily doable. Then there is one QBR, which is involving some music teachers and some gurus and all. So that was again mixed reviews over it. It was some moderate to difficult level. So again, matlab, the short story is ki if you can do two sets over here, you are getting a chance again to score 99 near about 99 percentile.
I spoke to few students. Sorry for interrupting in between.
Yeah,
I spoke to few students and they said that this DILR section seemed easier than slot 1. Is it right or wrong according to you?
It's on the similar lines. It's on the similar lines.
Not
similar lines. There are, but one or two sites were easily findable over here. It was not in the slot 1. It was not in the slot 1. Slot 1 was
because of that.
Yeah, because in the slot 1 there is a DI as well, and the graph was not that much clear. Like it was a radar graph in the slot 1, but that was not very clear. Here it is easily comprehensible. So in this view, students can score two sets over here. That is why we have written as well. It is moderate and 10 to 12 questions were doable. They were the good attempts over here.
All right, I'll come back to good attempts and we'll have a detailed discussion around the good attempts part as well. But now let me ask this as well related to QA. I was told that, in this particular section, number system dominated. Is it right?
Number system, yeah. There is quite a few questions from number system and they were tricky as well. They were not on the easier side. And similar is the case with algebra and geometry. Again, some tricky questions, some calculative, but again, not very easy. However, the good part was that there was somewhat around 8 to 9 questions from the arithmetic, and they were majorly doable. So what is the input we are getting from students is it is arithmetic dominated, and arithmetic is something which can be done in the examination hall because other 2-3 things were getting moderate to tricky.
Similar input we got in the slot 1 as well. So do you think, I think slot 3 guys, I think focus on arithmetic. I think that should be the clear message to them, right? From here, this particular dice.
There is a differentiation in slot 1 and slot 2. Slot 1 was consisting of some arithmetic questions which were very calculative. So that was the reason of skipping them. But here, I think this is not the scenario. Here, the arithmetic is comparatively easily and doable. It is not becoming calculative. But on the counterpart, what is happening? The weightage of numbers has increased and the difficulty level of algebra has increased. So overall, moderate to hard, it is going to be QA here as well.
Okay. But do you think, how do you compare it with slot 1? I'm particularly asking you this particular question because you have attempted slot 1 yourself and now you've got inputs from the students. So, because, after having a conversation with you, I feel kahin na kahin, DILR or quant थोड़ा आसान बैठ रहा है slot 2 की तरफ. And this is not good because आप एक बच्चे को सुबह को जल्दी उठाते पहले उसको दौड़वाते हैं और उसको टफ पेपर देते हैं. फिर slot 2 में एक बच्चा जो एनालिसिस देख रहा है सुपरग्राड्स के चैनल पे वो आसानी से पेपर करके जाता है. वो
नॉर्मलाइजेशन हो जाता है.
QA is not getting easier. QA तो easier side पे नहीं जा रहा है. थोड़ा अर्थमेटिक ही आसान है, but QA is not getting on the easier side. DLR can be, but definitely QA is not going on the easier side.
Okay, all right.
There are some of the.
I would want to add something to it. Slot 1 में there were hardly any critical reasoning questions, more inferential and direct central idea based questions. But then there were a few questions of critical reasoning in the slot 2. So the level of difficulty was a little higher in VARC section. Okay. Yes.
Even that we can see in QA as well. Like QA. There was some state questions, but majority of them were very calculative or taking too much of time. Like the students are not able to get out of there and they're getting stuck over there.
So okay, yeah. I just wanted to actually churn something good. That's why इसलिए मैंने वो बस कहानी बनाई थी और आपसे पूछा. But yeah, something good has turned out from that particular discussion. Now let's come to good attempts and let me ask it from Shruti ma'am first. 15 to 18. बड़ा नंबर नहीं है कि अच्छा with what accuracy are you saying good attempts 50 to 80?
I mean, in VARC, you never have a 90 plus or 100% accuracy. You
Right.
always range between 85 to 90% of accuracy. So
Okay.
if you have attempted like good number of questions, 17 to 18 on an average, because there was a mix of questions, and RCs were obviously doable except for a few questions which you should have skipped. So my calculation says that if you have attempted like 17 to 18 questions with at least 14 15 correct, then you might
Okay,
range
14,
in
15.
between 40 ka score aa jayega, 40 plus ka. You'll be ranging in 40 to 45, so that would be very good score in VRC then.
So that you're coding for 99 percentile, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. So Sanjay sir, 10 to 12 still you are putting in the ILR, but you clearly mentioned there was one set that was easily doable over here.
Quite easy,
Despite
quite
that,
easy.
kahin na kahin number kam nahi hai
I think,
for
sir,
99 percentile.
second, one of the sites which is coming easier from the student side was it was calculative, so there is a good chances of error over there. And one site was also there which can be done in the examination process. So I've taken effective of both, key few questions from here and few questions from there, and one complete set. So this is how I'm arriving at this data of 2 to 2.5 set, which can fetch you 99 percentile over here.
All right.
And
Last year it was 2.5 set, but 2023 में सिर्फ दो सेट पे 99 percentile
दो
आ गया
set
था.
पे 99 था.
हाँ.
Yeah.
So students, you're watching live to us right now. आप अपने doubts डाल सकते हैं. Live chat में we'll be putting it across the faculty over here. So this is on the same lines as 2024. कहीं ना कहीं वैसा ही दिख रहा है, right? 2.5 sets के आसपास.
2.5 sets के आसपास, but sets were different. Sets were new this time.
New this
They
time.
were not on the they were not on the exactly on the previous year lines.
Mhm.
Sets were new, but again, the criteria, or you can say the benchmark, is going to be same. Try to do 2.5 sets correctly in the examination hall.
Okay. Now, coming to QA and perhaps the most unpredictable of all three,
Yeah.
what is your say on QA? मतलब 10 से 11 यहाँ पर भी आपने रखा है. ये कहीं ना कहीं मॉडरेट लेवल ऑफ डिफिकल्टी को शो कर रहा है अगर 10 से 11 है तो बिकॉज इन द मॉर्निंग आवर्स आई वाज टॉकिंग टू फ्यू फैकल्टी मेंबर्स एंड ऑल देन दे से सो यू नो देयर वाज अ बोन ऑफ कंटेंशन बिटवीन द पीओवीज ओवर देयर एंड आई वाज गेटिंग इट फ्रॉम सम ऑफ द फैकल्टी सेइंग नो नो 8 पे ही जाएगा देयर वर अदर्स वर सेइंग कि नहीं नहीं 10 पे रुक सकती है 11 पे गाड़ी रुक सकती है एंड नाउ यू आर पुटिंग 10 to 11 what is your say over here?
Okay, so what was that discussion about 10 to 11 for 99 or
99
for
99 yeah
For
around
99,
99 yeah.
Again, in this shift as well, I will go for 10 to 11, like those 30, 32 numbers, which generally fetch 99, and this is going to remain the trend as well. In the morning, it can be 5 marks higher, maybe, matlab, since I was in the morning as well,
Okay.
especially for QA, because there some of the questions were from different parts other than arithmetic was also doable. And what is the perception we are getting over here, or what is the data we are getting from students is, other than arithmetic, things were difficult over here. So we may see 30, 32, 33 marks kind of thing for a 99 percentile, good 99 percentile.
Okay, if you can quickly scan us through the paper, Shruti ma'am, because you know it's mentioned over there, and then DILR and QA. Quickly, if you can scan Sanjay sir, क्या क्या आया, कैसे आया, so that you know students are now on the same lines. Yeah.
So there were 4 RCs with 4 questions each. So overall
Okay.
16 questions, out of which you can attempt 12 questions easily out of 16. If you're smart enough to move ahead and not get stuck in any of these confusing critical reasoning questions. Then there were 8 questions of VA, which were 2 each. And the parajumble, the draconian parajumbles are back. So be alert, on the alert mode. Odd one out
Draconian मतलब
questions.
थोड़ा सा उसको और elaborate
डरावनी.
डरावनी मैम वो तो हम समझ रहे हैं लेकिन वैसे ही मुझे ना
Draconian
कमेंट
is
सेक्शन
तो
में आ रहा है हमें
parajumble
वैसे ही डर
हमेशा
लग रहा है
confuse कर
और
दिया.
आप और डरा रहे हैं.
So I'm just making you alert that do not get stuck. You know, just because it is theta, you end up wasting your 5 to 7 minutes in parajumbles. I don't want you to do that. I've been repeating it again and again in my marathon sessions as well, that you should not get stuck in questions. So you keep that, eye on your time, and, any question which needs a third reading or a fourth reading is something which you should not waste your time on. So you
Completely.
should be aware of that. Then odd one out questions also could be a little confusing. Just second wale slot mein, there was an grease and odor free kind of a compound and chemical formation of that. So it was like out of context. Like you have never
Unless
heard
and
or
until you're a chemistry
no,
student, right?
matlab, it was a little typical. So
Okay.
it was, catchy and difficult, and it would consume your time. So rather than getting into it, so ऐसा कोई question वहाँ पर भी आ सकता है third वाले slot में.
All right.
So that is what my suggestion would be. That जैसे कोई topic ऐसे है RCs के, जैसे AI chat GPT का topic अपन इतनी बार कर चुके, agriculture इतनी बार कर चुके, कोई मूवी या स्पोर्ट्स के ऊपर है, किसी एनिमल पे है तो कितनी बार कर चुके हैं. फेमिलियर टॉपिक्स को उठाओ आरसीज के, एंड यू कैन play with that rather than getting into those VA questions which might eat away your time.
All right. Over to you, Sanjay, sir, now.
Okay, so we should discuss about DLR first.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so DLR, as expected, there were 5 sets consisting of 5, 5, 4, 4, 4. There were 2 sets of 5, 5 questions each, and there were 3 sets of 4, 4 questions each.
And how are we picking them? I mean, if you can throw some light. जो सभी श्रुति मैम चीज कही.
Okay. If I can elaborate about it, there is one proper DI, as in the SIFT one, there is one proper DI here as well. It was on sustainability index something, quite calculative it was. And there were 2 puzzle based. So one was that basketball, which I termed at easy, and there is another one which was over some arrangement of teachers and students. So those were 2 puzzle based, and there is one quant based reasoning as well. So 5, 5, 4, 4, 4. Again, that we have already discussed, 2 to 2.5 doing was advisable, and it was a good enough attempt as well in the examination hall.
I would like to ask one more question, sir, over here. Theta 11. This is the surprise of CAT 2025. मतलब हर साल कहते हैं ना कि CAT अपना chameleon की तरह रंग.
Half the paper is theta. Half the paper is theta.
So, do you think in long term they are going to go away with the MCQ part? I mean, it's a debatable thing to put on the table, but I'm doing it.
Yeah, but it is looking like maybe because when options in hand, we sometimes used to make a backtracing and do a set. If this would be correct, then what is the answer according to it? So they are taking away all those possibilities of backtracking and picking an option and trying to do a set from that particular option. So yeah, the rising trend of theta is going in this direction only. Yeah,
completely. Yeah. So you can clearly see that 2/3 of the paper was MCQ. However, 1/3 is clearly visible on your screens, guys. 1/3. So you can ask the questions. A lot of people, viewers watching us right now, and I have some questions from them. Hard for QA and LRDI, it seems. Do you agree with it?
Hard for QA and DLR?
Both, were both of them tough this time?
Yeah, both of them are moderate to tough only, and it is going to be seen in the cutoffs as well, and it is going to be seen in the marks as well. They are not.
Chagrin is asking you then, any advice for slot 3? Shruti ma'am, from your side first.
So my suggestion would be that see, it is a known and familiar pattern for VARC. No challenging or surprising things which are there, only that questions might confuse you, options might beguile you, so you don't get stuck with those confusing options. Look for the difference in the options if you are really confused between 2 options. Elimination is the key, which has been, you have been practicing for so long. So if you are able to, move on in VARC section and do a little higher number of attempts, like 16 to 18 attempts, you will be on the safer zone, because otherwise it will be really difficult for you in VARC section, because accuracy gets compromised here and there. So do not compromise with 10, 12 attempts in VARC is what my suggestion would be.
And just what is your advice?
My advice would be for QA. It would be again follow the basics, do whatever you are able to, like follow that round of ABC, and don't over attempt. Try to follow the basics. Whatever is easy, try to do it in the initial half. Then try to find out some questions which can be done in the limited time.
use करना बहुत जरूरी है ना,
because mark for review use करना बहुत जरूरी है. जितने क्वेश्चंस आपसे पहले स्लॉट में बन रहे हैं, फाइंड आउट द इजीएस्ट ऑफ ऑल. यू विल डेफिनेटली फाइंड 7 to 8 क्वेश्चन. स्टिल इन दीज पेपर्स एज वेल अभी भी आपको आसान क्वेश्चन मिलेंगे. There are other part of questions which are getting tougher, but this does not mean कि you will not get the easier questions. User questions आपको फिर भी मिलेंगे और उतने ही मिलेंगे जितने पहले मिलते थे. But हाँ, what is the change? The change is कि जो बाकी questions हैं, they are becoming more trickier. So again, the art of selection is getting very important again कि हमें वो 7-8 क्वेश्चन 9 क्वेश्चन ढूंढने हैं और सबसे पहले उनको करना है. Then whatever the time permit, try to do the remaining one. मे बी लाइक 10 मिनट है, एक दो क्वेश्चन और निकाल लेते हो, वेल एंड डन. सो
So I think Sanjay sir,
जानवी
I
पूछ
would,
रही है. Yeah, Shruti ma'am,
Sanjay
please
sir, you would
continue.
agree
Yeah.
with me in saying that जो strategies selection की, जो strategies elimination की supercats में हम लोग यहाँ follow करते आए हैं, बस वही strategy वहां पर replicate करनी है.
Even students were telling as well, sir, the paper was exactly similar, like what are the mocks we used to write. But again, since the pressure is there, तो वही strategies, वही questions, उसी line पर questions रहते हैं. But मतलब we have to be with them as well कि कुछ ना कुछ error कहीं ना कहीं हो जाना या फिर वो follow नहीं
As
कर
he has
पाना.
been super helpful in terms of mocks, at least, I think. Guys,
Yeah.
go and check them. In fact, we would love to hear the feedback from you as well, because, these are the inputs being given by a certain set of students. All of you who have written the Supergrad mocks, please write it to us on support@toprankers.com. What did you feel after writing this particular examination, so that we can improve as well? Not we are not here just to
Sure.
get the good advices. Yeah. Now, one more question coming from Janvi ID, and that's for you, sir. If you can actually tell her, Janvi Saoji, which slot was comparatively tougher?
Janvi, is it in terms of any particular section or is it overall?
So, if you can give DILR and QA introspective answer on those two.
Janvi, I think for QA perspective, slot 2 is looking difficult. Maybe for DLR perspective, slot 1 is looking difficult because in the DLR of the slot 1, the graph was also not that much easily comprehensible और एक भी set इतना straightforward नहीं था. Generally एक आध set straightforward रहते हैं, but this time it is not like that कि यार ये तो बन ही जाएगा. मतलब this is
वो
the
spider
easiest
web
of all.
वाला जो spider web वाला जो हाँ है
Even
ना?
that was very confusing, like involving the import and export. You have to take care of that point as well कि import for US to China is like export for China to. So मतलब वो भी सोचना था, and it
web
was
में
not
घुसा दिया सबको.
हाँ, even the lines were very like you have to see them very meticulously. They were not very easy to comprehend. So yeah, मतलब DLR for slot 1 was good. It was different. It was not as per the lines or as per the expectations. QA was ठीक ठाक, easier, just like 24. Yeah.
So Rutvij is giving his experience. He said he tried all 5 DLR sets, attempted 20 questions, but some were the guesses from his side. 2-3 questions were easy in every LRDI set. Quants, do you agree to this? Quants was different than 2024. 10-12 questions were doable. VARC was kind of easy to moderate, like 24, slot 2. Do you think he's right? कि नहीं?
I think let me read his comment. Quant was different than, yeah, absolutely it was different because suddenly a certain number of questions were coming from some absolute kind of topics like numbers and all. So 10 to 11 questions doable. Yeah, that is what we are saying. 9 to 10 questions doable. Maintain some good accuracy. And Rutvi, yes, this point is also very good. And I got to know from this one of the student as well. DLR mein, sir, there are sets which are doable but not completely doable. Becoming calculative at some point of time, becoming calculative at a certain section.
So यहाँ पे advice क्या दोगे आप जब पूरी तरीके से doable नहीं होता? Like this is something where you need to change the strategy on, right? कि आप आधा सेट कर रहे हो, उतना तो बन गया, फिर एक क्वेश्चन आ रहा है जो परेशान कर रहा है. What is your suggestion over there, sir? क्या आपको switch करना चाहिए वहां से?
Yeah, at a certain in these kind of moments you need to switch. अगर लग रहा है कि यार 2-3 क्वेश्चन निकल गए हैं without completing the entire table, and now for the last 2 questions you need to work hard, or you need to complete this table, you need to like hang on for quite some time, then you can definitely like exit from there. No worries, you can try something else as well.
Coming back to now cutoff trends, now expected cutoffs. So धक धक बढ़ गई होगी स्टूडेंट्स की, लेकिन हम उतना नहीं बढ़ाना चाहते, फिर क्लियरली इस पे बातचीत भी करते हैं. सो आपने क्वेश्चन फॉर्मेट में दिया है मैम, एंड आपने नंबर फॉर्मेट में दिया है सर. सो वी आर सी 17 to 8 18 questions with 85% accuracy for 99 percentile, right?
Yes.
You already mentioned that as well in the terms of good
Hmm.
attempts as well.
Hmm.
DILR around 28 to 32 marks. QA somewhere around, range
33,
ranging
yeah.
near to 33, right?
30 to 30 to 32.
30 to 33. Okay. All right. Any chances कि ये जो एग्जिट पोल है वो गलत ना हो आप दोनों की तरफ से? कम या
It
ज्यादा
is
तो नहीं
going to be
जाएगा, बहुत
close.
ज्यादा कितना गलत कर जा सकता है?
मतलब ये
It
स्पेकुलेशंस है.
speculation.
इससे
ये
बड़ा एग्जिट
मतलब
पोल
अभी इलेक्शंस के रिजल्ट्स थोड़ी ना है, ये तो
Right.
स्पेकुलेशन चल रहे हैं.
सो पहले से हम डिस्क्लेमर दे दें एक बड़ा सा कि ये स्पेकुलेशन है, ये हम सोच रहे हैं ऐसा होगा. प्लीज
Exit polls, man. These are exit polls.
एग्जिट पोल्स है. प्लीज आकर
हाँ.
आप बाद में कमेंट्स ना करें एंड बाद में कि आप क्या बोल रहे थे हमारे इतने आए हो. सो यस, certainly we predict something but that may be or may not be accurate, but currently right after the prima facie understanding of the examination and talking to so many students, a team is coming up with one number and it's clear in front of you all. All right, let's talk about the level of difficulty, and certainly this is going to give clear indication to 2026 kids as well, and final takeaways as well. So VARC, final takeaways as well as level of difficulty, ma'am, according to you.
So it was moderate to hard in both the slots. In terms of questions, there was a little difference. And in terms of RCs, it was almost like similar. Familiar topics were there, but then one RC was challenging in slot 1 as well, and in 2 also. And there were critical reasoning questions more in slot 2 rather than 1. So you can expect a few critical reasoning questions like strengthening, weakening, or maybe paradox questions, 1 or 2 here and there. Otherwise, level of difficulty is moderate only, so nothing to worry about in that.
Which was the
So-
tougher one? So,
No, both were on similar grounds, and don't worry about the level of difficulty. And there was no stark difference as such.
मतलब इस
in
बार
the level
स्टूडेंट्स
of
की लड़ाई नहीं होगी, आपका आसान था.
नहीं, किसी का भी आसान और
किसी का
मुश्किल नहीं है.
आसान नहीं था. Okay.
सब कुछ वैसे ही, जैसे एक पैरा सिंपल डिफिकल्ट है तो एक थोड़ा सा इजी है, एक पैरा समरी इजी है, एक डिफिकल्ट है, ऐसा मिक्स एंड मैच है.
Makes sense.
Hmm.
संजय सर.
Sir, I think as very clearly mentioned over here, DLR दोनों ही जगह moderate लिखा हुआ है. Maybe I may give slot 1 का DLR a bit more tough than slot 2. However, again, speculations, not having the exact data, but it's still very close. But on the closer side, maybe the slot 1 can be moderate to tricky, and slot 2 is moderate only. If I talk about QA, slot 1 moderate and slot 2 moderate to tricky. So now the sign is changing towards QA. In the slot 2 might be having a bit more tricky questions as compared to slot 1 in the QA. So yeah, it's a balance of games. DLR में slot 1 में भी थोड़ा heavy जा सकता है, QA में slot 2 थोड़ा heavy होगा. तो overall I think they will compensate each other maybe. Let's see. So yeah, very clearly mentioned over here about level of difficulties about all three sections.
I'd like to understand a few more things from you, right? A lot of students going to write slot 3 right now. If two quick advices coming from both of you one by one, the most crucial one only, not nothing like that's not that important.
Generalize,
So,
yeah.
yeah, Shruti ma'am, something that can actually help them.
Yeah, move on.
Move on. Okay. ये कौन सी एडवाइस है? रिलेशनशिप एडवाइस तो नहीं है.
I mean, you should keep that in mind that I need
All
to
right.
move on. All right,
Okay,
in
move on.
VARC, you need to understand that because you need to have good number of attempts to score well. So move on is the guru mantra which I would want to give you. Do not get stuck in any of these questions. There will always be easier questions followed by one tough question which will eat away your time. Do not allow that question to do that. You should move on and pick up easier questions. 3 RCs or maybe 3.5 RCs is doable. And VA questions, there are 8 questions. You might find 2 or 3 questions difficult, but otherwise you have good chunk of 4 to 5 questions which are doable. So overall, you can increase your number of attempts if you do not get stuck in tough questions or confusing questions.
Okay. Over to you, Sanjay sir.
It would be leave difficult questions quickly. Leave difficult questions
And
quickly.
perhaps the same thing said in a different way. Yeah.
Yeah, leave difficult questions quickly so that you would be having sufficient time for the doable questions. and do not get stuck in those questions because they would be definitely in your slot as well, which can eat away your lot of time. So you need to save your time from those questions and apply those time in some arithmetic, easy doable questions, and they will definitely give you good returns.
What was the biggest takeaway
One
from this?
more, one
Yeah, yeah,
more
please, please,
suggestion
please.
which is coming to my mind. Please, please, please use your preview. You click on that preview button, have that PDF scroll in front of you, select questions there and there, and then you start doing it so that you understand where the questions are. Do not start from the first question.
From the
And this
first question
applies to
onwards.
all the three sections in DLR as well. You can look at the sets and you can look at the graphs which are given, which is the familiar one, and you can start with that. Same is the case with arithmetic, like quant section as well. That preview should be used, thoroughly in the initial 2 to 3 minutes, or if I talk about DLR, initial 5 to 7 minutes. It is going to save a lot of time and energy for you.
All right, I
Absolutely,
think now
ma'am.
the cat is at least 66.66% done.
Percent done.
Done.
Okay.
The
Sometimes the
last leg
toughest
is
paper,
left.
yeah, I'll continue where Shruti ma'am ended. Sometimes the toughest papers don't test your knowledge, they actually test your
Test
clarity.
your
On that note, I'm going to say goodbye to you all. Thank you, Shruti ma'am and Sanjay. It was a fantastic session. I'm quite
Thank you so
sure
much.
Thank you
it's
very
going to be
much. Thank
helpful
you
for
very much.
not
I
only for
hope
slot 3 students,
our
but six.
feedbacks help the students.
That they are going to, certainly. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.